Hello, thanks for coming to Papa's Happy Place. I'm very glad you came. Today, I'd like to announce that we have a winner on our poll. We've had an overwhelming number of people that want to see me make a spiced holiday cider. So after my intro, I'll get back and we'll get right to making that cider. Here we go. Okay. Cider is very, very easy to make. It's got a couple simple ingredients. You've got apple juice, or it's pear juice, or there's other kind of juices you can use for a cider. But most people use apple juice. And you've got yeast. Today we're using an MO2 from Mangrove Jacks, and they're out of Australia. But this one is MO2. And it is a cider yeast, and it's just for making cider. So I'll go over the process with you here a little more, how we're gonna make just a little better cider. We're gonna do some things to adjust it a little bit so we can make a holiday cider. But I'll get back with you in just a sec, okay? All right, right here. Alright guys, real simple. What I'm going to do is, there's a couple ways that we can elevate our cider to make it a little different, a little better. First thing we can do is some spices, different spices that I've got. We've got some cloves here, some oregano, I've got some cinnamon sticks. I'm going to put some cinnamon sticks and probably some cloves, nutmeg, different things, holiday spices. It's going to make it a wonderful holiday flavor. One thing about this, you have to do this after, because these have tendency to kind of neutralize your yeast a little bit, because cinnamon and some of these spices were used years and years and years ago to help medicinal purposes, to help people so they didn't get sick. Well, part of that was to help get rid of a lot of the bugs. So we'll wait and let till after the fermentation, then we'll add this, and that will end up giving us the flavors we want, but it won't mute the fermentation. So that's something we're going to do after. One thing we can do before, which will help with our ABV, and if you don't know what that is, look right over there. It explains it, and it'll tell you exactly what an ABV is, how we calculate it. It's a calculation we do from when we start brewing till we get done, and we have everything fermented out. And that tells us kind of approximate alcohol by volume. It's not exact. You'd have to send it to a scientific place to get it all done correct, to get it perfect. But we just want to have a good idea. Whether it's a 5%, whether it's 50%. I don't think we can get to 50%, but it's 5% to a 15% or an 18%. We want to know what that is. So if it's real strong or if it's really weak, that's something we want to know. So, but to get that higher ABV, we would probably add some kind of other fermentable, whether it be some granulated sugar. I'm thinking that I'm going to put a little brown sugar in with those. And the reason I'm being is going to kind of give it some of that holiday flavor. And then it's going to give it some of that apple pie. That's what I'm thinking, apple pie. But I'll go get some other stuff put up for you, get the cameras and lights moved around. We'll start showing you how we're going to take some of this stuff, put it all together. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hydrate my yeast. Again, this Mangrove Jacks, it says you just use one of these. I'm going to use 2 of these packets. Not very expensive, a couple bucks a piece. But what I'm going to try and do is try and create large enough yeast colonies so when this starts to ferment, that ferments strong and I don't get any off flavors and I get the best fermentation I can. A couple bucks, not a big deal, but I want to have that best fermentation I can have. So what I'm going to do is I've pulled off a little bit of apple juice, just a little bit, just enough to sprinkle some of this in, let it set. It's got to be kind of warm. This is room temperature. It's right at room temperature, about 70 degrees, 68, 70 degrees, just right for the yeasties. Now this one here does say on the directions that we're supposed to ferment between 54 and 82 degrees Fahrenheit, which is over here, down here somewhere. Yeah, I don't know where that's at. But anyways, Celsius for anybody that's watching from someplace else, 12 to 28 degrees Celsius, right? And 6 gallons for 23 liters of must, or of the apple juice, what we're using here. And then for rehydration, you can just get on the website and it tells you how to do that. But basically what I've done is I've taken a nice sterile jar. I'm taking that jar, and then I'm going to take my yeast, right? And I'm going to sprinkle it on there, but I got to get my scissors and sterilize too. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, I'm back. Went and got me some scissors. Just a little pair of kitchen scissors, nothing big. Beep, 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 right? I got me some sanitizer, this Star San mixed up in regular volume. It's supposed to mix up. And then I got a granddaughter sticker on there. Hey, that's pretty cool. Thank you, granddaughter. Anyways, basically this is made out of an acid, and it's low enough pH that it basically just kills off any of the organic materials or any type of thing that might contaminate our liquids. So what I'm going to do is I'll just spray it on there real quick. Let it set up. Get it on my hand real good there. Rub them on. Just let it kill anything on there, and then I'll take my yeast packets, right? Spray them down. Okay. Let it dry on. It's supposed to set about a minute. How's all your days going? Give us a little time to talk. How you been? Haven't seen you in a while. What's going on? Get back to this. Anyways, what I'm doing, let it set for about a minute. Dry it off, shake it off, make sure I don't have too much stuff on there. It doesn't hurt nothing, but it just kills anything that's not supposed to be in there out. So what I'm going to do is I'll cut my packets here. These scissors cut. Right, and just sprinkle them in there. Make it nice and sanitary so I have nothing. Right? And make sure we get all them yeasties out of there. We're paying for them, might as well get them all out of there. Take another one, same thing. Just kind of cut the top. Oh, I can smell the yeast in that. You don't know what that fresh bread smells like, right? It's kind of what I'm getting here. The Mangroves Chat, good stuff. Look them up, guys. They're pretty good. Alright? And we're just going to rehydrate our yeast. Make sure, clean up as we go. So we want to make sure that we don't have any messes when we get done, so people ain't upset with us because we destroyed the damn house. We don't want that to happen. We don't want to destroy the damn house. We got to keep it clean. So make sure you kind of clean up your mess. You guys that work with me, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you know. Anyways, I'm going to throw this away. Okay, guys. I'm starting to get some water in the pot. Get it up, temperature, start getting hot. And I'm going to put about a pound of brown sugar in with a gallon of water. I've got 5 gallons of apple juice. It's going to be about 6 gallons of product into the fermenter, which usually gets some lost at the bottom, so I'm figuring about 5.5 gallons, too close to 6 gallons for, after when I get all done. So that's kind of, you got to calculate how much fluid you need so that you can, after fermentation, you get everything that when it comes to brewing with grains and stuff, you have to calculate things such as how much you're going to absorb into all your grains that you're going to lose, and that's going to be end up going away with the grains when you're done boiling and when you're done doing your mash process. So it's not as bad with this. You're going to get just a little bit right in the bottom of the yeast and stuff that gets to the bottom, and you're not going to end up getting that out, and that's not, you don't want that into your final product. So you got to make sure that you can, rack that off, get it off of the yeast, get off of the lees, get it into a final product that you can consume that's actually good. So I'll get started on this, get water up, and then I'll get back to you. And when I put the sugar in, you'll be able to see that process, and we'll get her up to temp then. Okay? Thanks. All right, we're back real quick. Trying to get a little progress on there. I don't know if you can see that. Starting a little foam up top. I can hear it starting to percolate a little bit. Starting to get some of them yeasties activating, so when we get this all done, it'll be a nice good fermentation. That's why we rehydrate. It still works with just sprinkling dry on there, but I think this does just a little better job, and we're gonna less stress on them yeasties. So that's the main thing. We want to make sure that them bugs get good activity and this get it fermented out of quick. Okay, I've got this starting to come up temperature. Start stirring in some of my brown sugar here. Now this here was a 2-pound sack according to here, and I got about a half sack, so I'm just going to put that in there. Call that about a pound, and that ought to take what we got and turn it into a real nice slurry with the apple juice we got. You know, I'm gonna probably add a little apple juice to this to cool it down, and I'll put it rest in my fermenter, and then I'll put it back down. But we'll stir this in real good. It's a nice little slurry, some sugar wash, something for the yeasties to ferment down, making some alcohol. Anyways, I'm gonna continue stirring. You can see the simple process. And you'll get to see a lot more when I start doing wild grain brewing. But that's coming up. I'm working on it. Settle down now. I know you're excited too. I am too. But we got to do a little at a time. And I want to teach you little stuff like this. If y'all can make a thing out hard cider, if you put one of these, just like this, a little bit of yeast, get your little bubbler on top, you can make your hard cider right there. You don't have to have nothing special. But we'll do some chips or some cheats and tricks later on. Right now I'm just showing you how to make a hard cider. But I'll be back to you in just a little bit here, and we'll explain a little more stuff to you. Alright. Yeah, keep watching right to the end, right at the end. Thank you. Okay, real quick I'm gonna go over. This is my Fermzilla, and this is my ferment vessel. And these little lids here sometimes get kind of stuck together. I'm going to show you how I get them apart, how I get this lid to pop. So I just get me a tablespoon, unscrew that lid just a little bit to where I've got a little bit higher than the post on the side. Just give her a little pop on one side, pop on the other side. Just reach underneath with my spoon. It's got a kind of little bend to it. Pop on the other side. She comes off. Make sure it's vented. Got all that gassy out of there. Alright. Let's finish screwing that off. Big black ring off. The post off. And this one's already been sanitized, so it's going to be clean. I want to make sure and keep that to where I keep everything clean, and I'll spray it before I put it back on. But that's how I get the caps off. We're going to start putting it back together here in just a second. Let's start getting all the fluids in. But we'll get back to that in just a second. Alright, thanks. Here we go. I'm going to read something to you real quick right here. The ingredients on this: apple juice from concentrate, water and apple juice concentrate, ascorbic acid. That's just to help color and stuff like that. Ain't gonna hurt you none. You don't want anything in here that's an 8 or an 8. You want to just have whatever kind of juice you got. Maybe some ascorbic acid, help the pH a little bit, but that's about all you want in there. Some water. Anyway, so this is again, just great value. It's pretty inexpensive, but it's just an apple juice. I don't have to buy the highest quality apple juice I can get. The better quality stuff put in there, the better quality you're going to get out. But we're just making a cider that you can drink. It's not going to take us long to get it all gone. So grab yourself jug, pull the top off of it. Screwed on it pretty tight. These are perfectly healthy to use. They all have to be pasteurized when they come from the factory, so you don't get like sick or anything from it. So perfectly used just right out of the tank. I'll just make sure again sanitized. Make sure we bring everything down. Get everything, any bugs or anything that might be on there. Right. There we go. Shake it up just a touch here. Make sure we get all that juice. Can you see that? You see I got a little bit of foamy juice in there? That's that. So make sure it starts in water and it kills bugs, kills anything that you don't want in your brew out of there. And I'll just dump the excess low in there out of it. You can leave the foam in there, guys. Foam won't hurt you. It's just that foam actually gets in there and won't hurt nothing. And keep everything nice and good. And then we just keep everything as clean as possible again. And yeast, when they first start, they love to have oxygen. But after you start fermenting, you don't want no oxygen in it. That's why this pressure fermentation process works well, keeps all that oxygen out. Yeast, as they consume the sugars, they consume the fructoses and the maltoses and glucoses and all the different sugars. They end up turning that into CO2 and alcohol. And that's what we get out of our brews. Now there are other chemicals in there too. I don't know all of them. I can't think of them all off the top of my head. But there are lots of other chemicals, but none of them are harmful to us. So make sure that you keep the oxygen off of it. You don't, once you start fermenting, you want anything under 160 degrees Fahrenheit could start to have some bugs in it. So you don't want that. So you want to keep it as clean as possible again. So make sure you get you some air in that dude. See some bubbles on top there? That's okay. That means it's oxygenated. That's what we want. We want oxygenation. Right? We want to get some oxygen. There's some bugs. Use that. Give me another one going in here. Up high. Let's make sure we get a good tall pour in there. Get as much oxygen as you can in there. Get splashed. Want to get all that oxygen there for them. Yeast to use when they're starting their process, starting to develop and multiply. Once that multiplication is started, and they start to get everything all burned up, you want to make sure that you got some way, got an airlock on there, some way to keep everything else out of there you don't want in there. And then put these lids on tight. Anyways, this is the last one of these. Yup. Get out. Keep a lot off. That. Look at her go. Look at her go. And that is 96 fluid ounces, 3 quarts. So we're not going to quite have 6 gallons. I got 5 of these. Plus I put in a gallon and a half with everything else. So we're going to have close to 5 gallons cider in there. So we'll move this down to the ground. And we're going to pour in mixture we put on the stove. Get that poured in. And we'll get the lid on there. And then we'll get that going. I'm going to turn this camera down just a little bit so you can see that. There we go. Boy, that's a sticky mess. You get that on the floor, guys. Be careful. Don't make it. Somebody rip you up for doing that. So I'm gonna check the temperature. I'll get back with you in just a minute. Okay, I'm gonna check the temperature real quick here. So we got on there. $95 on there. Well, you probably can't see it from there. I'm gonna get you up here closer. See it from there? 95 degrees. So we're gonna have to let it cool down a little bit before we pitch. I'll be back with you in just a little bit after it cools down some, okay? Alright. We're back, guys. Real quick, I'm gonna do all my little testing that I need to do. Make sure everything's sanitized again. Spray all of our stuff down with sanitizer. Make sure we don't get no bugs in there. This is a graduated cylinder. We'll take in, capture a sample on this graduated cylinder, and then we'll take our hydrometer. We'll read the sample. That'll tell us the viscosity of this liquid, tell us how much original gravity that we have, and then after we get fermented out, we'll get some more readings. And when we finalize our readings and show that we have several days in a row that our readings are the same and we've done fermenting, then that'll tell us what the final gravity is and the difference between the two. Again, there will be a link right here, or there will be a comment that'll explain that process to you. But right now I'm just going to take the gravity and find out what the original is. So I capture a sample inside my graduated cylinder, and that'll tell me how much sugars are in this, how fermentable this is, so that when the yeast complete their process, that'll tell us and give us an idea. If we've got an idea on the yeast, it'll give us an idea of what kind of percentage alcohol we should be able to get on this. Again, according to that calculation you see down there. Let's go down in there and give us an original rating. And this hydrometer is actually rated at 60, I think this one's 63 or 68 degrees. They're all graduated at a certain temperature. There are calculations that you can do to tell you, if you go on some of the websites, they'll give you an exact number. But this one's reading 1.042. Which is about 5 or 6% alcohol. That's perfect for playing on us at something like this. We don't want to get this yeast up over about 7% anyway. It just doesn't do well after that. It's not meant for that kind of stuff. There are other yeasts that you can get to get there. I've got some yeast in the freezer out here that I'd go way easy at this. But I got this because I want to try it and I want to see what it's going to do. But also, it's just a cider. It's supposed to express some really fruity, appley flavors to it, and with apple cider, that's what I want. So that's a good number there. That's about what I wanted. I'll clean all this up in just a second. I don't want to do it as fun, but I'm trying to show you guys what I'm doing. Here's just a pH test strip. I'm just trying to find out what this is pH wise, because our pH has to be a certain level the yeast to do their best. And so I'll just get a quick pH sample off of this. Read that is. Ooh, that one's a good one. Look like my pH right around a 3, 4. Yeah, about a 4. About a 4. So that's what I want. I want low pH. That's going to tell me that's where them yeast do the best. Beers, I want to be probably 5.2 is a sweet number. But if I'm doing a mead or something like that, I want to be real low. I want to get that number down there. And that's where we're at. So we're good. We're at 86 degrees. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? 86 degrees. And that 86 degrees is the upper end of my yeast. So I want to pitch yeast now. And then I'll get it out in the fermentation station. Let me pitch this yeast. Get a cap on it. Show you how I finish this up. And then we'll ferment it out. And then we'll get to ferment the final readings, getting alcohol content. Boy, that sucker's been good right there. I'll tell you what, I really like this Cayman Jack's. Can't think of the name of it right now, but I really like it. It does a good job. So we're gonna just shut it out. Rinse that out in just a sec. Get it good clean. Another thing I want to do, maybe I should do it with this jug right here. Just get just a little bit of water in here, I guess, is what we use. Get her kind of warmed up. Let's put some yeast nutrient in this. Apple juice doesn't have a lot of junk in it that for the yeast to get used to, so I'm gonna put a little bit of yeast nutrient, give them yeast enough nutrition so when they get to going doing their neat deal, that they multiply again, get a strong colony going. Give me 5 gallons here, so probably about a teaspoon, maybe lower. Heaping teaspoon, that's what I'm going with. I'm going with heaping teaspoon. Right, heaping teaspoon. There we go, heaping teaspoon. Yeast nutrient. With these babies up there, I like to do that. And they'll be able to make this really good cider. We'll shake it up, throw it in the microwave for just a sec. What the heck did I put that in? Oh, there it is. Shake it up real good, throw it in the microwave. Get it heated up just a touch. Heck, I don't know if I can even throw it in the microwave. Look like she's going real good right there. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to throw a little bit right there. Clean it up. Get these fermentation started on this thing. There we go. Put my cap on. I'll be ready to go in this second. There's the cap right there. A little sanitizer on my beauty right there. Movement there. We'll get her in place, get her tightened down. Get the cap on it. Get her out of the station. Let her start going. Put the temps on. Ooh, dog. Make sure I don't have no nicks in my O-ring or something that will stop me from creating some pressure on that back pressure. Looks good to me. Alright, this float dip tube, dip, DIP, that goes down in the wort, down in your, well, it's kind of whatever it is. This is not going to be beer, this will be cider. But whatever your liquid is, this goes down the bottom, floats, and it keeps you up off the bottom so you don't suck up a bunch of yeast and stuff. Set that down in place. Put my ring on there. Give bump. Give her about a quarter back. All right, guys. I'm gonna go put up the station. Y'all be good, and I'll let you know how it goes. Thanks.